Now, not much is known about Scientology in Singapore, except for its celebrity followers, Tom Cruise and John Travolta. And now the Ong brothers from Singapore.
Okay, I'm not brainwashed.
This is one of the biggest joke. You are not supposed to be brainwashed. How to brainwash you? We're not supposed to be more aware and more awake after that. In fact, the founder, L. Ron Hubbard, he mentioned very, very clearly what he said are his opinion. If you disagree with it, that's fine. Don't agree with it.
Yeah, as an old timer, I have come across quite a number of things, and when I study, I say I don't agree with that. So the supervisor or the course room say, fine, that's your understanding, and so it be. So I just put it one side, park one side. This idea, I don't agree. Move on.
For the full video, you can watch it on the Straits Times website. But for now, let's look at the science behind Scientology in Singapore with journalist Yuan Sin, who wrote the story. Hi, Yuan Sin.
Hello.
Hi. I'd like to know why do you think some people find Scientology controversial?
Yeah, I guess part of the reason could be that it's such a new religion. Like no one has heard of what it is at all, and so maybe let me take some time to give you a bit of background there on Scientology and what it is. So it was founded in 1950 by a science fiction writer called L. Ron Hubbard, and I think he's fairly well known. So it believes that people are basically immortal spiritual beings, right? And their minds have they have been obscured by traumatic events in the past. So through a series of causes and kind of like mental therapy sessions known as auditing, you can use that to overcome these obstacles and attain a higher state of like spiritual existence in a sense. And I guess part of the criticism leveled against Scientology is that, well, it could be seen as pseudotherapy used to replace the methods of like psychology and psychiatry. And also they feel that it's just a scam to make more money off believers. So these are some of the criticisms leveled at it. And also during the period of the 50s to 70s, right, the American countercultural movement also started to gain more followers. So this was also at a time when there were a lot of suspicions about new religions and cults. So that could be why it is seen as controversial. And also in recent years, you get a lot of celebrities who have joined Scientology in the past, but now they've defected from the church, and they have all kinds of accusations against the church. That it breaks up families. There've also been lawsuits from ex-members alleging sexual abuse or forced labor and so on. And we're not very sure if any of these allegations are true, but that's what is being widely reported in the Western media right now.
So on the flip side, why do you think some people are attracted to Scientology, like the Ong brothers you spoke to?
Yeah, and also I guess Scientology belongs to this larger category of so-called new religious movements. So it's actually a term that has been coined by academics to refer to new spiritual or religious movements that emerged over the last century. So other groups that may be considered by some academics to fall into this category would be the Hare Krishnas, which is kind of like an offshoot of Hinduism, or the Jehovah's Witnesses, which I think many people know a bit about by reading online and so on, right? And it can be difficult to shoehorn them into the same category also because they have very diverse practices and beliefs. So some of them have origins in traditional religion, but they have wanted to kind of branch out to kind of revive a tradition. And some of them, like Scientology, may have decided, well, that they just wanted to start a new religion, right? And NRMs may have gained popularity at a time when, I guess during the post-war period, society modernized and it went through a lot of changes as well. And there was also the advance of science and technology, right? So all these developments may have also made people feel that traditional religion may not be as relevant or applicable to their daily life. Or some people may just feel that they don't really subscribe to the ritualistic, practice of traditional religion. So for example, an academic has said that in Singapore there's this movement known as the Satya Sai Baba movement. So people are drawn to him. He's an Indian spiritual guru, and it places a lot of emphasis on community service, right? So it seems like a very practical way of applying your religious beliefs compared to traditional religions, which may be more ritualistic in nature. And some NRMs also engage with the development of science and technology in very creative ways. So if you look at Scientology, right, I believe the Ong brothers were drawn to it partially because it seems to kind of offer a very rational and scientific approach to overcoming obstacles in life, as opposed to, you know, older religions which kind of like have a bit more of a dogma and element of, you know, faith or like preaching or believing in something more abstract.
Well said, Yuan Xin. I believe people are free to believe what they want to believe. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So those were our top stories for today. For more news and videos, do head on to our website at straitstimes.com. Once again, I'm Melissa and thank you for tuning in. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.